I'm going to talk about sex for a little while. Strap in. Isn't it funny now? Sex, everyone's fucking gone sex mad, haven't they? Every time are you having the best sex? Are you having the longest sex? Are you having the fucking hardest sex? Woo! I blame pornography. Consumption of pornography. It's got out of hand. You couldn't get it in the 70s. You couldn't get it. It was illegal. Men had to go to a dirty cinema, didn't they? They got a Mac and cut the pockets out of it. And they used to have a pair of trousers that they cut the top bit off and just tied it above their knees. You're thinking he knows a lot about this, doesn't he? But no, they were called the Dirty Mac Brigade, and they'd go in the cinema, right, and put their hands in their pockets. They'd see like a manual 2 or something, have a proper polish. That's what men did. I'm giving it to you in the street here, people. And you get to the 80s. Sadly, much more common pornography because you had people sort of... We got the video recorder turned up, didn't it? And suddenly you could get a film. Every factory, every warehouse had a bit of a nonce in it. Geezer who reproduced them. In our factory, it was a geezer called Colin the Polisher. He'd come up and go, I've got some films, Mick, for the weekend, got some films. They're blinding. They're from the continent. He only had 3 teeth. Fuck me. Mahogany, yew and dark oak. And use them as a colour chart. Do you want the mahogany, the dark oak? He was a proper nonce. Do you want a film for the weekend? And what you did was you got the film for the weekend, £3, something like that, and you took it home and you plied the wife with Martini the Bianco. Right? And then about 10, 11, you went, I've got a film in work, babe. I don't know if you fancy watching it. I've got it in work. It might be good, worth watching. You put the film on, suddenly you're watching a man with a huge donger go on for hours. And you're thinking, this might have backfired a little bit. This is not natural, babe, is it? The way that man's shaping up, I don't think it's very well. Let's cut to the present day. Pornography consumed all day long by people. Hardcore pornography, horrible pornography, aggressive pornography. It's reached the point where when teenagers have sex for the first time, they try and strangle each other. Is this it? I thought it was going to be more fun than this. And they call it puppy love. Teenage pregnancy is nothing new, is it? You know, it's been in the news lately about they want the teenager to abstain and things like that. But teenagers were still shagging each other back in the 70s, but they got married if they got someone pregnant. You met your mate down the pub and said, oh, you know that Tracy? You know, I told you I fucked her. She's having a baby. You go, oh, well, that's you finished then, isn't it? Do you want a game of pool? Lives in the balance. I like nudity indoors. I don't like public nudity. I've tried it. Me and my wife went on a little Greek holiday once and she talked me into going to the bleeding nudist beach. Now, there's a problem if you're a male from the UK. You've been covering your penis up for legal reasons all of your adult life. And suddenly you're just walking about in front of people. And the penis is not having it. It goes, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? You're going to get us nicked. And it hides in the pubes. And suddenly you're standing there with a vagina. This is nice. Because you can't do what you do after 5-a-side or swimming, when most men give it a little tug and liven it up a little bit. You just have to use the powers of concentration to get it somewhere between flaccid and lob-on, somewhere right in the middle. I'm laying there on the sunbed, I'm in bits. I'm trying to maintain some sort of dignity. I looked at my wife, I said, this is the worst day of my life. I need a drink. I said, I'm going to that bar at the back. Do you think you have to put your clothes on? She said, don't be stupid, it's a nudist beach. I went bowling into the bar. You do have to put your clothes on. Never has a lager taken so long to pour. Slow realisation that everyone else has got their clothes on. Gracias. So, it's creating problems with couples. I met an eminent sex therapist, right, as part of my latest Sky show, and I was talking to her about the consumption of pornography. She said it's causing big problems with couples, Mick, big problems. She said we're having a major issue with pegging, right? Pegging, right, for those who don't know, is when the female of the species, who is more deadly than the male, right, she puts on a strap-on dildo and she penetrates the man anally. Not annually, that's a completely different thing, right? She pays into it. So the women are seeing it and thinking, I fancy a bit of that. But there's a lot of men who don't want to be pegged. It's creating tension amongst couples, right? So I said to the sex therapist, she's top of her game, she does TED Talks, she knows what she's talking about. I said, right, you've got a couple. The woman wants to peg, the man don't want to be pegged. What's your advice? She said, Michael, I tell him to try it at least once. I said, well, how does this help? So she said, it's good for the man, because the first time in his sexual life, he has to partake in an act that he's not particularly keen on, yet has to show some level of appreciation for. I thought, right, I'm getting it. Right on, sister. I said, but given that the dildo is rubberised and has no sensation, what's really going on here? She said, Michael, this is about control, power, but ultimately, revenge. I said, revenge? She said, yes. I said, revenge for what? She said, I believe this is revenge for the facial, right? So I said, revenge for the facial. So she said, yes. She said, for many, many years, men were happy to ejaculate on the breasts. This was the holy grail. It was called a pearl necklace, right? This was their big aim. She said, but they're not happy now unless the woman ends up looking like a plasterer's radio at the end of the session. You know, she's got to be a current bun in the sun before anyone's had a good time. And women are sick of it. What I'm trying to say, lads, is if at some point in the not too distant future you catch yourself over the kitchen table, farting on a dishcloth, while she tears into you, you sort of brought it on yourself, ain't you, really? So, I thought I'd do that bit at the next Royal Variety performance. What do you think? Yeah? I won't be doing that again. They keep on asking me to do it. I'm not bowing and scraping in front of that big-eared cunt. No fucking way. Here's a counter-voiced royal family. Fuck off, the lot of you. Get a job. Were you out or were you out? My wife and I made all sorts of promises to ourselves that on my year off we were going to go to the theatres and galleries and do all this stuff. We didn't. We watched the telly. We like a bit of telly indoors. We're not ashamed of it. People are pompous and they go, oh, I haven't got a TV. I always go, no, I ain't got any books. Yeah, about that, all those words and ideas strung together to create stories and theories. Fuck that for a lot. Put the telly on. We've got 3 levels of viewing in our house. We've got a family viewing, Bake Off, X Factor, that sort of stuff. There's my stuff, which I shall be watching later, once she's gone to bed. All the quality gear. Sexcetera. Parking wars. Can't pay, we'll take it away. Oi, oi! Anything where it might kick off. And then we've got what we call our shows. They're few and far between. These are shows that my wife and I can enjoy as a couple. They come up very, very rarely. And if me and my wife see one, I say, babe, our show, our show. And she goes, yeah, our show, our show. And we give each other a high five and we agree we're going to watch this show as a couple, never individually. This is a lovely agreement to make, but it does mean that it can be years before I get through a box set. Because she goes to bed at 8:30. She stands up in the middle of an episode. I've got to go to bed, babe. I'm absolutely shattered, she says. Absolutely shattered. Now, you younger men have probably got girlfriends who'll stay up quite late, 11 o'clock, things like that, you know, like 3 episodes. You're going to get married and have children. She's going to go back to work. You're going to get a lot of this. About 8:30, you get, oh, I've got to go to bed, babe. I'm absolutely shattered. You must never say at that point, why is that then? Why are you so tired, babe? You have to go, oh, I can imagine, babe. Oh, the day you've had, eh? You had to let the gardeners in, didn't you? Put that Ocado delivery away. Show the cleaner where she's going wrong. I'll bet you're in bits, babe. Were you out or were you out?